Hey everybody, Charlie here. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to give you an awesome new lesson from my brand new on-demand class, How to Learn Beginner Photography Quickly and Easily. This is a class that I've taught students in over 70 different countries and counting, and to get them started on their photography journey. This has given them the gift of photography, and today I want to give you the same gift and to get you started on your journey. So grab your camera and get ready to explore photography. This will be a mini-series on my channel, and so if you enjoy learning, please don't hesitate and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification. I usually post a video about once per week as time allows, and today we're going to be starting out on the journey from my new class going through the history of photography. Did you know that there were not always cell phones? Big shock, right? Photography was not always so easy. Yet with photography almost 200 years old now, it's great to pay homage to what gave us art form that we have today. If at any time you'd like to check out the different full class options that I have, you can visit my site over at charlienaebeck.co under the All Courses section. The full class is on sale for the entire month of March, so check it out. Combine today's class with a full class and let's go. Let's dive into the history of photography together for today for the lesson 1. Welcome to the first lesson of our journey through the world of photography. Today, we delve into fascinating history of photography. We're going to trace its evolution from a mere concept to the advanced digital world that we navigate today. Understanding this history will not only provide context for the technology that we use, but it's also going to inspire us by showcasing the creativity and the ingenuity of those who paved the way for us. The dawn of photography was early experiments, and photography's roots can be traced back to the camera obscura. It was a dark room or box with a small little hole in the wall that projects an image of the outside world, and it projected onto the opposite surface on the opposite side of the room. This principle is first described in the 11th century and later utilized by artists in the 16th and 17th centuries for accurate image projections. A lot of painters, for example, embrace this technique to project images into walls or flat surfaces to trace what they saw onto their canvases or paper. First successful photograph was technically created by Naebeck in 1826 or 1827 using a pewter plate coated in bitumen which hardened in exposure to light. This process was called the heliography, required an 8-hour exposure to capture the view from Naebeck's window. Imagine standing in one spot for 8 hours long, waiting for your camera to take a photo. I think we have it easy these days with the different instant gratifications that we have in our pockets to make photos. And with the view from the window, the photo was called Le Grace by Naebeck. In advancements and innovations, it came along the daguerreotype. In a partnership with Naebeck, Louis Daguerre developed a more efficient method, reducing exposure time and improving image clarity. The daguerreotype, introduced in about 1839, became the first publicly available photographic process. It was also a very formal process to do a photo session back in the day. Back in Daguerre's time with his daguerreotype, you had to sit very still and not move to the very long exposure times of the camera. There's a good reason that not many folks smiled in the early photographs. Imagine having to hold a smile for a long exposure photograph. There's 53 muscles in your face alone that make you smile, and if you breathe or if you move at all, it's going to make a blurry photo. Now, Louis Daguerre in a portrait, that was the first daguerreotype. He took a selfie basically. And then came along the negative to process, or Talbot's calotype process in the 1840s, which allowed for multiple prints from a single negative, layering the groundwork for modern photography. In this technique, a sheet of paper coated with silver chloride was exposed to light in the camera obscura. Those areas hit by light became dark in tone, yielding a negative image. Later on in the collodion glass negatives process, it would replace Talbot's calotype in the early 1850s. Color photography came along. The quest for color began in the 19th century, but it wasn't until the early 20th century that practical color processes like the autochrome or the Lumiere became available to the public. As a fun fact, there's a good reason that you did not see too many color photographs originally. Color photography was actually much more expensive to produce than good old black and white. A lot of the classic images that you will see in the history of photography are black and white, or sometimes they tone the images like sepia tone or other colors to go ahead and get different variations. And as a bonus, the first color photography was actually taken by a photographer named James Clerk Maxwell. Now, when we get to first color photography by James Clerk Maxwell, the digital age came along eventually. The advent of digital photography was a transition to digital where it became late 20th century, revolutionizing the photography. The first true digital camera was developed by Kodak engineer Stephen Sasson in 1975, but digital cameras did not become widely consumer available until the 1990s. When first digital cameras hit the market, they originally had a 0.1 megapixel. There's a good reason that everything often looked distorted or cubed on them. They're also very expensive for even a simple point-and-shoot camera, getting into the hundreds of dollars for a very limited technology. These days, people can find these old digital cameras on places like eBay for less than $5 to experience the nostalgia. Modern innovations come along, and today's photography is actually marked by advanced things like DSLRs, mirrorless cameras, and smartphones. These are capable of capturing high-quality images with ease. The digital era has also democratized photography, making it more accessible to people worldwide. And as a fun fact, what you have in your pocket or on your cell phone is technically better quality camera than most of the old processes these days. It can reproduce light and color more accurately than some of the original limitations that they had back in photography. Yet a lot of people still practice the old ways as it allows them to slow down and enjoys making images more than just simply clicking a button to store an image on a device that spits out ones and zeros. Film photography has always found itself making a grand comeback in modern times, and companies that produce classic cameras like Canon's AE1 or Nikon's FM2 and Pentax K1000 have seen these cameras coming back into demand again for new film shooters. Photography is an art form and communication is an artistic recognition. Over time, photography gained recognition as an art form. It had pioneers like Ansel Adams and Dorothea Lange, who actually used the medium to express beauty, document social conditions, and to evoke emotion. As a side note, if you're a photographer in 2024, it's suggested to first and foremost fall in love with the process of photography for making images for yourself. If you're starting out for money or fame, you may find yourself very disappointed in the long run. I'll save that video for another time, another day on modern perspectives of if it's possible to actually make a living and a name for yourself in photography. Now, coming up to the global impact, photography has played a crucial role in documenting historical events, shaping public opinion, and fostering global communication. And a lot of times, people still see photography as, quote, truth. Yet with all its perspectives that it can be made with tools like Photoshop or AI, for example, one might question what is truth when things like perspective, film stocks, lenses, and even experiences can all change what's seen when one makes a photograph. I think about Susan Sontag's classic book called On Photography from back in the day, where she mentions that photography itself is a lie. So the point is, do it because you love it. Now, wrapping up today, the history of photography is a testament to human ingenuity and creativity. From the first permanent photograph to the complex digital images of today, photography has continually evolved, offering us new ways to see and interpret the world around us. As we move forward in this course, we carry the legacy of those innovators, and we carry learning to harness the power of photography in our pockets and in our creative endeavors. Now, as we get into reflecting on this, consider the vast changes in technology and society's perception of photography over the different centuries. How do you think photography will actually continue to evolve in the future? What role do you see yourself playing in the next chapter of photography's existence or history? This lesson lays the foundations of our exploration of photography, and it reminds us that every shoot that we take is part of a larger ongoing history of human expression and connections. And if you enjoyed today's first lesson, don't forget to like, to subscribe, and turn on notifications here on the channel. This video will be the first of a brand new series in my course, How to Learn Beginner Photography Quickly and Easily. I have taught this very same class to students in over 70 different countries and counting, including folks at Adorama's Learning Center, NYU, and University of Michigan, and countless workshops across the world. If you want to check out the full course and sign up to get started at your own pace, get assignments, and to get feedback on your work, you can jump over to my website over at charlienaebeck.co, and you click on the All Courses section right on the very top of the page. It is on sale for this class course now for the whole month of March, and I can't wait to see what you make with amazing things as you start your journey into photography. Until next week, happy shooting, and I'll see you soon. Have a great day.